Science 3, Second Quarter, Week 1. Functions of the sense organs of the human body. Do you know the different sense organs? For today, we are going to study them and their different functions. Learning competency with code. The learners should be able to describe the functions of the sense organs of the human body. Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin are important parts of our body. These are included in the group called 5 sense organs. Each sense organ has its specific function. One may function as a sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of smell, sense of taste, or sense of touch. Do you know this sense organ? Very good. These are our eyes. Our eyes serve as our sense of sight. These organs help us to see different things in our surroundings. They also help us to describe the color, shape, and size of an object. The question is, how do we see things? Light passes through your cornea, the window of your eye. Once it has passed through the cornea, it then passes through the pupil into the back of your eye. The muscles in your iris contract and relax to adjust the size of your pupil. That is the reason why you might have noticed your pupil changes size in different lighting conditions. The signals are then passed onto the brain to be transmitted into an image. Do you know the sense organs? Very good. These are our ears. Our ears serve as our sense of hearing. It helps us hear different sounds. The question is, how do we hear? Sound waves enter your outer ear and travel through the ear canal to your eardrum. Your eardrum vibrates with the incoming sound and sends the vibrations to 3 tiny bones in your middle ear. The bones in your middle ear amplify the sound vibrations and send them to your inner ear or cochlea. The sound vibrations activate tiny hair cells in the inner ear, which turn release neurochemical messengers. Your auditory nerve carries this electrical signal to the brain, which translates it into a sound you understand. Do you know the sense organ? Very good. This is the nose. Our nose's main purpose is to help us smell things around us. It also helps us identify the scent of an object. The question is, how can we smell? Up on the roof of the nasal cavity, the space behind your nose, is the olfactory epithelium. The olfactory epithelium contains special receptors that are sensitive to other molecules that travel through the air. When the smell receptors are stimulated, signals travel along the olfactory nerve to the olfactory bulb. The olfactory bulb is underneath the front of your brain, just above the nasal cavity. Signals are sent from the olfactory bulb to other part of the brain to be interpreted as a smell you may recognize. When you inhale air through your nostrils, the air enters the nasal passages and travels in your nasal cavity. The air then passes down the back of your throat into the trachea or windpipe on its way to the lungs. Do you know the sense organ? Very good. This is the tongue. The tongue is the sense organ that helps us taste objects that we put in our mouth. We can tell if an object is sweet, sour, salty, bitter, or spicy with the use of our tongue. What do you think is this sense organ? Very good. It is our skin. Skin is the outer layer that covers our body. It serves as our shield and helps us in preventing loss of body fluid, damage, and infection. It also maintains normal body temperature. Aside from this, we can also tell if the object is smooth, rough, sticky, or slippery with the help of skin. Science 3. Today, we are going to tackle the different animals in our surroundings. Learning competency with code. The learners should be able to describe animals in their immediate surroundings. Animals are found everywhere. You can see them moving on the ground or under the ground. You can see them swimming in the water or crawling on the river bed. You can see them flying over the trees or high up in the sky. They can move from one place to another.
There are many kinds of animals. Some animals are big, some are small and can be kept in small jars and boxes. Some animals are friendly. We can play with them, just like our pet dogs. Some animals are endangered and face extinction, while some are abused because of their unique qualities. Now, let's tackle the different animals in our surroundings. First, we have the domesticated or pet animals. These animals are tamed and kept as pet. Examples of these are rabbit, dog, cat, fish. These animals are classified as domesticated or pet animals. Next, we have the farm animals. These animals are raised on a farm, just like cow, pig, carabao, and goat. Can you name some farm animals? We also have the zoo animals. These animals are kept on zoos and are put on display for humans to see. Just like owl, elephant, zebra, and giraffe. Can you name other zoo animals? Next, we also have the wild animals. These animals are not domesticated and they are potentially dangerous to humans. Just like the tiger, lion, crocodile, and cobra. Can you name other wild animals? Wild animals usually live in the forest. Next, we have the aquatic animals. These animals are found or live in the water. Examples of these are jellyfish, milkfish, shrimp, and octopus. Can you name other aquatic animals? Next, we have the land animals. These animals are found in the forest, grassland, fields, and gardens. Just like the ant, chicken, rat, and cow. These are called land animals. Now, it's your turn to name some land animals. We also have aerial animals. These animals have wings for flying, just like the eagle and the bat. They have wings to fly. Science. Today, we are going to study the external parts of animals and their functions. Learning competency with code. The learners should be able to identify the external parts and functions of animals. Like people, animals have external body parts that help them move, eat, and protect themselves. Each body part has its own specific functions. The first function of these body parts is for their movement. Animals move from one place to another. They use their different body parts to walk, jump, run, crawl, swim, or fly. Some animals use their limbs and feet to move. Dogs, tigers, horses, pigs, giraffes, and cats have one pair of forelimbs and one pair of hind limbs. Do you know these animals? These animals can waddle in the water. These are ducks and they have webbed feet that enable them to waddle in the water. Birds, bats, and most insects use their wings to fly. They also have feet for walking. Now, can you give me another examples of animals that can fly? Turtles and frogs use their webbed feet to move on land and swim in water. Fishes use fins, while whales and dolphins use their flippers. Now, let's discuss the body parts of animals that they use in getting their food. Animals have body parts that suit the type of food they eat. Dogs, cats, lions, and tigers have sharp teeth for cutting and tearing meat of other animals. On the other hand, birds have beaks or bills to pick seeds and grains and catch small insects. Other body parts of animals are used for their protection. Because animals need to protect themselves. This is one way of adapting and surviving in their environment. Horns for carabao, antlers on deer, and tusks on elephant used for defense mechanism. Meanwhile, dogs, lions, and snakes use their fangs to fight off predators. Some animals use their body covering. Bears have thick fur to protect their skin from hot and cold temperature. Fishes have slipping scales. Crabs use their pincers or claws to catch other animals for food. Shells protect the soft bellies of turtles, snails, crabs, and clams.
Science 3. For today, we are going to study animals, their body parts, body coverings, and of course, their habitat. Learning competency with code. Classify animals according to body parts and use. Some animals have similar body parts which can be used as bases for classifying them into groups. They have body parts which they use for. So let's see, what are the functions of these body parts? They use their body parts for movement or locomotion. Examples of these are ducks. They use their webbed feet to waddle in water. Millipedes and centipedes have short legs for them to move their body. On the other hand, carabaos have forelimbs and hind limbs. Birds have wings to fly. And fishes have fins for them to swim in the water. Body parts of animals that they use in getting food. Birds have beaks or bills to catch worms. On the other hand, wild animals such as lions have sharp and strong teeth to catch their prey. Frogs have sticky tongue to catch their prey or get their food. Trivia: do you know that frogs can snatch their prey in under 0.07 seconds, 5 times faster than you can blink? Body parts of animals that they use for protection. Deers have antlers to protect themselves. Lions have sharp teeth to protect themselves from their enemies. On the other hand, crabs or lobsters and scorpions use their pincers or claws to catch other animals for food, and they also use these body parts to protect themselves and to fight other animals. And snakes have fangs to fight off predators. They also use their venom that can hurt or kill their prey. Animals according to their body coverings. Animals have fur, feathers, or scales for body covering.
Their body covering protects them from predators, attracts a mate, or maintains their body temperature. Hair or fur. Hair or fur gives animals protection from the heat of the sun and from cold days or nights. Bears, dogs, cows, horses, and even humans have hair or fur. Do you know other animals that have hair or fur? Scales. Scales cover the body of fishes, lizards, snakes, crocodiles, and alligators. Scales vary in size, shape, and arrangement. Fishes have wet scales, while snakes and crocodiles have dry and hard scales. Shell. Shells can be big or small. Turtle shells have scales too. Their scales are called scutes. Feathers. Feathers help birds fly. They also keep the birds warm and help them escape predators easily. Birds' feathers come in different colors. Skin. Animals such as frogs, toads, and salamanders have moist skin. Their skin allows them to live both on land and in water. By the way, do you know the difference between a frog and a toad? Frogs have smooth skin, while toads have bumps on their skin. Animals according to their habitat. Animals live in different habitats. Habitat is the natural environment where animals live, find food, and interact with other animals. Land animals. Land animals are also called terrestrial animals. They live in farms, forests, deserts, and even as pets at home. Farm animals such as ducks and hens provide poultry products like eggs, milk, and meat. Cows, goats, and sheep are farm animals that are kept in a barn. Pigs are kept in a pig pen, while chickens live in a coop. Dogs and cats stay in kennel. They are pet animals. We also have aquatic animals. These are animals that live in water. They live in oceans and seas, lakes, rivers, and ponds. Fishes have gills that allow them to breathe underwater. Freshwater animals like milkfish and tilapia can be found in ponds, lakes, and rivers. Salt animals like sharks and whales live in an ocean and seas. We also have animals that live both on land and in water. Some animals like ducks, crabs, turtles, and frogs can live both on land and in water. Crocodiles and alligators live both on land and in water too. They use water to keep their bodies cool after staying in the sun. Aerial animals. These animals fly or glide on air. Birds, bats, and insects like butterflies and dragonflies are aerial animals. These animals have wings that help them fly. They also have small feet to walk whenever they stay on the ground.
What animals do you have at home? Can you describe the animals that you have at home? Hmm. The horse has long legs which it uses for walking or running fast. Some animals have legs that are not very long but they can also walk and run very fast. The cheetah runs the fastest. So the fastest animal is the cheetah. Other animals like rabbits and kangaroos have bigger hind legs which aid in jumping. That is the reason why they can jump high. The legs of carabaos, dogs, horses, and cows make them walk, run, gallop, or jump. Birds have wings for flying, as mentioned a while ago. Birds have a pair of legs and feet with sharp claws for clinging to branches of trees, or they even use them in catching their prey. Fishes have fins and tails for swimming. The long and strong legs of frogs enable them to jump, while the webbed feet of ducks help them swim or waddle in the water. What are these, children? Do you know them? Very good. These are earthworms. Earthworms have pairs of bristles that help them crawl and cling to the walls of their burrows. Do you know this animal? Very good. It's a monkey. Monkeys have long arms, legs, and tails that help them climb and swing from tree to tree. These are millipedes and centipedes. Millipedes and centipedes have many small legs to help them crawl. So those are the small legs of millipedes and centipedes. Crabs and lobsters use their legs in crawling and swimming. Science 3. Today, we are going to study the different parts of different kinds of plants. Learning competency with code. Describe the parts of different kinds of plants. Plants are one of the most essential living organisms on Earth. They are greatly beneficial to both animals and humans. We cannot live without plants. Plants produce oxygen, which is useful for the survival of living organisms. On the other hand, trees provide shelter to animals and are also known for their medicinal benefits, just like aloe vera, lemon balm, lavender, and rosemary. Overall, different parts of plants have different roles to perform. They act as a source of food and oxygen and maintain the ecological balance. Now, let's tackle the different parts of a plant. I'm sure you already have an idea of what they are. First, we have the roots. Roots anchors the plant firmly in the soil. They absorb water and minerals from the soil and store reserve food material. Without roots, plants will die. Why are mountains filled with trees? Do you know the reason? Because trees help prevent flash floods. Their roots can absorb and hold a large amount of water. There are three types of roots. First, we have the taproot. Carrot, beet, and sweet potato have taproots. Its main root grows big and fleshy, while the small roots branch out. The second one is the fibrous root. Fibrous roots are very thin and they do not have a main root. The third one is the adventitious roots. Adventitious roots grow from different parts of the plant. This is a corn plant. Look closely at the adventitious roots. The roots are growing from the stem. The second part of a plant is the stem. Stem forms the basis of the shoot system and bears leaves, fruits, and flowers. It connects the roots to other parts of the plant and transport water and nutrients absorbed by the root. The stem holds and supports the leaves to catch light from the sun. There are different types of plants according to their stem. The first one is shrubs. Shrubs have many branches and they grow near to the ground. Their stem is woody and thin and doesn't have main trunk. They are smaller than a tree. Examples of shrubs are cotton plant, rose plant, santan, and of course, the country's national flower, sampaguita. We also have vines, plants with stems that crawl on the ground and climb walls are called vines. The stems twist around fences and trees. Examples of these are squash, grape, and runner bean. We also have ampalaya as a vine. Next, we have herbs. Herbs have green, soft, and fleshy stems. Some herbs are used as food flavorings. Examples of herbs are parsley, mint, and basil. Next, we have trees. Trees have hard, woody, strong, and thick stems. Examples of these are talisay, molave, kalumpit, and duhat. The main stem of a tree is called a trunk. Smaller stems called branches spread out and holds leaves. The next part of a tree is the leaves. Leaves are the food-making parts of the plant. Leaves have chlorophyll that makes the plant green. Plants breathe through small openings in their leaves. They take in carbon dioxide and give off oxygen that animals and humans need to live. Flowers. Flowers are the most beautiful and colorful part of the plant. That is the reason why they are used as decorations. They add beauty to the environment. Flowers also attract animals like insects and birds. Bees and butterflies feed on flowers. Some flowers have fragrant odors. They are used as essences in perfumes, lotions, and soaps, just like lavender, magnolia, and ilang-ilang. Some flowers are odorless, while others give an unpleasant odor. Gumamela, santan, and bird of paradise are odorless flowers. Fruits develop from some flowers. Fruits contain seeds that develop into a new plant. Fruits are delicious and good for your health. They are rich in vitamins and minerals. What is your favorite fruit? Now, let's observe the different parts of each plant. The first plant is the mayana. Does it have roots? Check. How about stem? Check. Leaves? Check. How about flowers? None. How about fruits? None. Next. The next plant is the rose. Does it have roots? Check. Stem? Check. Leaves? Check. Flowers? Check. How about fruits? None. So the rose doesn't have fruits. Next we have the chili. Does it have roots? Check. How about stem? Check. Leaves? Check. Flowers? Check. And fruits? Check. So, it contains all the parts of the plant discussed earlier. Science 3. Quarter 2, Week 6. How living things depend on the environment to meet their basic needs. This is our lesson for today. Are you ready to learn? Learning competency with code explained how living things depend on the environment to meet their basic needs. I want you to look at your surroundings. Everything you see and feel is part of your environment. An environment includes living things such as plants, animals, people, and the tiniest microbes. Some examples include beach environments, desert environments, forest environments, and Arctic environments. Every living thing has basic needs differently, depending on the environment. Remember, organisms can only survive in environment where their basic needs are met. For example, a shark. A shark gets its food, air, water, and shelter from the ocean. Its gills pull the air it needs out of the ocean water. So this is an example of a shark wherein it lives in a beach environment. Another example is a polar bear. A polar bear cannot survive in the desert. Its body is not adapted to live in the heat because polar bear eats fish, ringed seal that can be found in water or cold area. So the environment that is suitable for polar bears is Arctic environment. Next, we have a cactus plant. We all know that a cactus plant was able to adapt the extreme heat and dryness of the desert. It stores water and moisture. Cactus store water in their roots, stem, and leaves. That is why it is suitable to live in a desert environment. We also have an orangutan. An orangutan makes nests of trees to sleep in at night and rest during day. They get their food from the trees using their arms and legs to climb on. It also serves as their habitat. Wild and some endangered animals can be found in the forest, so they can survive or live in a forest environment. Interactions among organisms and their environments can be very complex because an organism gets everything it needs to survive from the biotic and abiotic parts of its environment. Let's define these two. What do we mean by biotic and what is an abiotic? What do we mean by biotic? The biotic factors in environment refers to all living things. Examples of these are plants, animals, bacteria, fungus, and protists. When we say protists, these are eukaryotic, which means they have a nucleus. They can be parasites, and they all prefer aquatic or moist environments. There are three classifications of protists. Some are animal-like protists, which are heterotrophs and have the ability to move. Others are plant-like protists, which are autotrophs that photosynthesize. Fungi-like protists, on the other hand, are heterotrophs and they have cells with cell walls and reproduce by forming spores. Examples of protists are kelps. How about abiotic? The abiotic factors refers to all non-living things like physical conditions, temperature, sunlight, humidity, different gases, and minerals present in the air. Examples of abiotic are soil, air, minerals, light, and water. When we say ecology, it is the study of interactions that take place between organisms and their environment, as shown in the picture on the left side. Living organisms have basic needs. Every organism has its own way of making sure that its basic needs are met. We call this interdependence. That every living organism within an environment has a specific role or job. That some living things cannot make their own food must eat other organisms to survive. Food chain is one of the best examples of interdependence that continuous flows of energy. So this is an example of food chain. In a food chain, we have the producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producers, consumers, and decomposers have important roles that contribute to the wellness of the environment. These roles create the cycle of resources shared by an environment's member while providing them with their basic needs. So this is an example of food chain. As you can see, we have the producer, which is the grass. And then we have the primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, and final consumer. At the end of the food chain, we have the decomposers. So as you can see, it is a cycle. What are the producers? Producers are organisms capable of making their food directly from non-living resources. Examples of producers are grasses or other plants. How about consumers? Consumers ingest other organisms to obtain the energy and nutrients they need to survive. As can be gleaned in our picture, the primary consumer is the grasshopper, the secondary consumer is the frog, and the tertiary consumer is the snake, and our final consumer is the hawk. There are three types of consumers. These are herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore. Herbivores are animals that only eat plants. Examples of these are rabbits, horses, and elephants. On the other hand, carnivores are animals that only eat other animals or what we call meat eaters. Examples of these are snakes, lions, and tigers. Omnivores are animals that eat plants and animals. Examples of these are rats, dogs, and pigs. We are also classified as omnivores because we eat both plants and animals. What are decomposers? Decomposers help an environment by breaking down the matter in dead organisms and recycling the nutrients back into the soil. Bacteria and fungi are examples of decomposers. Science 3, Quarter 2, Week 7. Today, we are going to tackle the different ways on how we will take care our environment. Are you ready for our new learning? Learning competency with code. Identify ways on how to take care of our surroundings. What are the things that we need to consider when choosing trees to be cut? First, we need to make sure that the trees cut are of old age. Young trees should not be cut. Remember, young trees should not be cut. You cannot just bring down trees, for we have laws made by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources or DENR regarding cutting of trees. Make sure to replace the trees that you cut by planting new ones. Do you do this? Do you plant new trees? We just have to make sure that we plant new ones as replacement. Trees and plants have big roles in our environment. They cleanse the air that we breathe and they prevent flooding during rainy season. We cannot really avoid cutting trees and other plants because we need them for our industrial use and daily needs. Just like, for example, we need trees in making our furnitures or in making our house. What is waste segregation? When we say waste segregation, it is the process of separating wet waste to dry waste, or biodegradable to non-biodegradable. We do this for us to easily recycle dry waste and use wet waste in producing compost. Remember, there are some waste that can be made into fertilizer. Hazardous waste should be properly disposed, for it can pose danger to our health. Cleaning of surroundings. It is nice to have clean surroundings. We can do our part by just simply picking small papers or candy wrappers. Do you do this, children? Do you pick some dirt that you see in your surroundings? Remember, this will be a big help to have a clean surrounding. Throw trash properly. We need to do this for us to have some clean and safe surroundings. Put trash in proper place, trash bag or trash bin. Do not litter. Improper waste disposal can cause health hazard and flooding. Science 3, Quarter 2, Week 7. Today, we are going to tackle the different ways on how we will take care our environment. Are you ready for our new learning?